an absolute treat to watch this one. Speaking of treats, I would love to welcome our YouTube audience. Welcome everybody. You guys are watching the Valorant Challenger South Asia Split 2. Today we have Reckoning versus Orangutan, and both these teams have quite a lot to prove. Orangutan, obviously being the winners of Split 1, have a title to defend. Meanwhile, Reckoning, the team that everyone thought to be the underdogs, actually ended up taking quite a few names in Split 1, and they beat down some of the big dogs too. Unfortunately, their journey was cut short early on, but now they have a chance to redeem themselves. And of course, Hoya's already giving an indication of what this game's gonna be like, of course with the finger signals.
All these players, look at them. I know there's a cheer going on right now for the squad of Team OG, and Raw feels super calm, and Deadly's happy. He's just happy, man. I'm going to beat Orangutan today. That's what he is thinking right now, exactly. And yeah, I wouldn't blame him to do so. To think so, I'm sorry. Because he's just chilling. He is just looking at his opponents. Here come the other two as well, flapping. Oh, he's a showman. He's a showman, all right. Look at him. I recently saw a meme of Brimstone walking out in 4:3 ratio. He exactly looked like that walking out.
Yeah, the white joy memes also kind of apply to him every now and then, but Flappin has always been a showman. And why do you think I enjoy watching this team, you know? It's partially because of his showmanship. It's partially because of how he conducts himself. Of course, on the other side, Orangutan have their own showboating, you know? Every now and then they might just bring out the knives and try to go for some slicing and dicing. They don't show off too much outside the game, but inside they can be real flamboyant.
Alright, as we gear up for the game, if I were to ask you for your prediction clips, who do you think might have a upper hand, or maybe if you're confident enough to predict the scoreline overall in 3 maps, what would it be?
So I think that would depend a bit on the map pool. So in order to get into my prediction, I will have to go a little bit in the past. The first time these teams faced each other, Orangutan and Revenant Esports, it was quite a silly affair because Orangutan was able to beat them 2-0. They beat them 13-9 on Ascent and then 13-7 on Split, which kinda indicates that when it comes to these buggish one-dimensional maps, OG can easily shut Reckoning down on the basis of pure firepower. So Reckoning need something to bamboozle Orangutan, and that's why in their second matchup, when these two teams faced each other, there was a little bit of trouble in Ascent. Reckoning almost won it, but they lost 11-13. Then in Fracture, Reckoning was able to win 14-12. So this kind of proves to you that when it comes to maps which involve a lot of over-rotating and committing resources early on, that's when Reckoning Esports might be able to bamboozle Orangutan. But if it's simple maps like Ascent or Split, then they don't really stand much of a chance.
Oh, alright. So map pool will definitely play a big role over here. And then we have the cheer, OG. And let's see if they're able to first of all win the small little battle. I mean, it does make an impact. But at the end of the day, you'll need to have, I'd say, quite a few maps on which you're comfortable. 4 to 5, I'd say, at least. So you should have 4 maps under your hood at least, so that you're able to, you know, take at least one home every time, beat any team you're facing off against. So here we go with the map split. Map Veto, Lotus and Split are already out of equation. So they say, yeah, Split is not our jam here. OG, no surprises there. They go with the map of Haven. But what does Reckoning pick? Do they go for their previous map that they won against the players of Team OG? Yes, they do. They pick the map of Fracture here.
Amazing. So Reckoning are playing to their strengths. They've already defeated OG on it once. They want to do it again. The funny part was, the last time somebody picked up Fracture, it was OG's pick. And now Reckoning are the ones who are confident enough to pick it for themselves. Maybe history will repeat itself. Maybe OG will learn from their mistakes. But I'm kind of sad to see that Bind is no longer in the map pool. Instead, Pearl will be the decider. Now, these two teams, they didn't get a chance to face each other on Pearl. The one time it was picked up by either of these teams, Pearl was not played because the match ended 2-0. So they haven't faced each other on Pearl before. That should be an interesting twist, but Fracture is Reckoning's playground. Let's see if they're able to maintain their position over there.
Hey, continuing on the talk you had on the map where you over-rotate your opponents and then you're able to grab rounds. Pearl is one of those maps. It's a very big map and there are a lot of fakes that could be shown to your opponent. And let's see if we even go to map number 3, and if we do OG fall for those fakes or not. Talking about the composition though, in the very first game on Haven, we have a Harbor and a Viper. A double controller which I wanted very badly from the past few days, but not on a map like Haven. But it'll be interesting to see what Team Reckoning can pull out of it.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, it will be certainly interesting. Reckoning Esports have a lot to prove, and especially with them picking up a Harbor and Viper on Haven, I'm starting to think they are trying to take something directly out of Loud's playbook. You know, when they run this kind of a setup on Haven, all of their attempts come down to delaying their opponent's pushes. So OG will have to be really pressed for time if they feel pressured over here. Reckoning will have to somehow build up that pressure off the clock to make OG feel like there's a sword hanging on top of their head. If they are unable to do that, well, then OG will have no trouble taking down their opponents whatsoever.
Here we go though. A slow start to the pistol, and as you said, delaying the pushes is going to be the objective here. Already both the walls have been deployed. The drone, yes, it will give you the position of deadly 10, but clearing it out, I mean, it's a very difficult position to do so. OG, they already decide they do want to rotate out of here. It's a good decision, although they'll show presence on some other part of the map and probably leave RVK to do a little bit lurking. No, he'll join the team. They'll put their efforts on another side. But guess what? Voya already has control of B and C, both the sides. You have an alarm bot in B. He himself is watching Garage, and the turret will give the contact out C long. So let's see. AZ is an important fight to win here. The bullets do get exchanged. The frag is not there, and realizing that there's just a killjoy in Garage, they know the C side is completely empty, and OG, they just run over it.
Yeah, but look at what this smoke does over here. In any normal circumstances of a C push, it will really stop OG in their tracks. But now Voya is trapped over here, all by himself, has no backup, he dies a lonely death. Aziz is able to shoot down deadly as well. Yes, Flabin coming through Garage once again enables the trade to come through for at least some time, but they are not able to capitalize on the advantage they found. Harsh, left to his own devices, all by himself. He's in a great deal of trouble, and even though that shot onto Tesseract was stylish, OG can adjust really quickly. As soon as OG figured out that Reckoning are stacking the ace site, they quickly went on to their own business towards the Garage. And they had no trouble facing and realizing what the setup of Reckoning looks like either, right? As soon as the High Tide was deployed, they figured out where the Harbor is. They saw the Viper, they put 2 and 2 together, and they've sort of understood that the only person marking C will be the Killjoy. Might as well go there, even though they don't know exactly where the utility has been placed.
As soon as the sound cue came in for Team Reckoning, the rotations should have been made. But it's a game of if and what. But now Reckoning, they're waiting for these pushes, and Reckoning are happy to give it. Anti gets one, but he's quite low, and the trades are there. This is dangerous now. Although Aziz with the frag calms the situation down a little bit, but Flabber is still stuck. Oh yeah, still marking Garage. No one to see. Flabber, a wall in his face, and he's able to grab the Spectre. Oh, this can be huge. They're only looking for economical damage. Let's see if they're able to get anything or not. Flabin, not bit by the wolf, but his position revealed. Tesseract running him down. He does not get the frag. Flabin good for one. The jiggle around the wall gets another. AZs will close out the round, but great damage achieved by Team Reckoning in the round.
Yeah, this was quite spectacular. This Viper wall has been adjusted very well, and this enables them to push closer in towards mid without actually being spotted first. They also use the same high tide they used in the previous round, which gives OG the sense that Reckoning are pushing a shot rather than pushing out mid. So they did trade out really well towards mid window. Of course, when Flavin tried to recover that gun, the play was given away, and OG figured out that the other two players also have to be close enough. So they just group up and bring it all in. But regardless of the outcome of the round, Reckoning did quite a lot of economic damage, which puts them at a massive advantage now. Only one Phantom available on Aziz. That's the only big gun that's there on OG. Everyone else, they're kind of relegated down to their Spectres and Sheriffs. Oh. Twist facing a little bit of difficulty closing out the frag, but there's still plenty of utility to deny any entry in there. There's Viper as well as Water in the way, and if that's not enough, Voya comes in to finish off whatever they started.
A good round. They also saved 3 rifles out of it. So essentially, we expected the round to go in the favor of Team Reckoning, considering the buy that OG had. But hey, great job done by them to retrieve the 3 rifles that they were on the ground. Harsh, he will still have a little bit of a trouble buying into the round. He'll have to get a drop either from Flamen or Deadly 10, but it should be fine. Reckoning, they've put the first round on the board, but this is a really important round here. Because if as OG, you lose the round if you're Team OG here, your economy will be reset. You'll be put down to very little credits and another eco will be on the board. So a lot has been invested by Team OG in the round. And let's see if we do see a result. Deadly already playing an off angle, has the dash activated. Wants to get a tab, wants to get a frag before getting out of here. Let's see if he's able to do so. Goes for the shots and misses the dash.
Yeah, that's a fat finger moment. Dash right into the wall rather than getting back to safety. With the kill already acquired, the Seekers will reveal 3 positions, and they figured out that A is slightly weak. But in spite having information that A only has 2 defenders, they can't really push in yet because the Harbor and Viper walls keep them at bay. Now they finally start to get inside, but Raw Fuel is traded instantly out. Tesseract is able to get a frag by happenstance, but they realize there's just way too much in the way. Even the Reckoning has been invested, so they would much rather fall back. Oh no! And their attempts of falling back have now been thwarted. The spike carrier discovered, and it's all in the hands of Antidote. The captain has to step up once again. Oh, these walls, these toxin screens, and the high tides have been the bane of his existence.
He's using every bit of utility perfectly. And Trish is able to close off the round too. And this is all on the back of the frags that they got in the first 2 rounds. Yes, they were not able to win them out completely, but these frags essentially loaded up to that ultimate being charged. And that's how Reckoning were able to win the round, because they forced Team OG off the site. Great round from Reckoning, and that's economy reset for Team OG.
Well, that is a reset, and it's a hard one. Equalizes the score, neutralizes the advantage. RVK does have a Cosmic Divide with which he can highway his team into one of these sites. The C site, on paper, definitely looks to be the easier one over here because there's not any Harbor or Viper utility in the way. But as soon as they realize that OG are trying to knock on the doors of Garage, they put down a high tide over here to slow them down. The alarm ball at least is destroyed, and this draws out the rotations from Reckoning to some extent, leaving C long, empty and vulnerable. At the same time, you have Tesseract trying to sell a fake towards the A side, keeping the rotation stationed. Will they fall for this bait though? Because Trist has come back in position.
Oh, they see. I think they saw Hoya's pixel over there, and him not realizing it has led to him being taken off the board. Plus, a weapon retrieve for OG. This could be big. Flamendo, a good wall by him. Trist. Oh, he's stuck. He's stuck and he's dead. The core will protect you against the bullets, but not against the utility. And the Hunter Fury takes care of him. And Anti is good with the trades here. Harsh. Oh, he wants to sneak in. He's able to get into the side without being detected. Oh, but the visa. It comes back. It jumps back. And catches Harsh off the angle. OG. They pull off a thrifty here.
And OG have been very patient. They use these Harbor and Viper walls against Reckoning. They use their own Cosmic Divide to get into the site, and then they infiltrate the site piece by piece, taking the cove first, then on the other side of logs they venture out to find another frag. And as soon as someone from Reckoning tries to make a move, tries to get ahead of those massive walls, Reckoning Esports find their graves. OG put them down in it. And it was such a slow and methodical round from OG as well. They stuck together. The Sheriffs will be deadly at that range. And they walk in with just a bunch of pistols. They walk away with Operators and Vandals. That's a massive W. Whatever economic troubles they were facing before, they have now vanished.
Whenever you win a thrifty, you're set for the next 3 rounds. The economy is reset in such a way, even for your opponents. you'll be set for the next 3 rounds. And we do have half shields all over the board for Team Reckoning. They're they're trying to pull off a fanatic over here in terms of economy management. But hey, let's see if it's well enough or not. Deadly, we were talking about the role switches earlier on, but this time again, Deadly has been given the jet. Let's see if he's able to show some good results on the duelist this time around. Because Voya, you've seen what he can do when he's playing that particular role.
The shock dart should break the alarm bot. Oh, even though it doesn't, it's okay. They will shoot it down manually. Trailblazer has cleared out a link. And look at the smoke that's been placed by OG. It's placed deeper, which gives Reckoning the sense of illusion that A-Link is actually being heavily contested, whereas it's just Rawfuel marking that area. Which is fine. Rawfuel does his job. Both the lockdowns have been deployed, which puts this whole round into a stalemate. But when the dust will settle, OG will find themselves in very safe spot, and Reckoning will have to use all their utility to cut out their line of sight. At least this Viper Wall allows them to stick to defuse, but OG have so much utility that they can just throw at their enemies. Their snake bites, their shock darts, and if that's not enough, the nanoswarms also will make their life a living hell. And when all utility fails, Rawfuel will personally escort them down to the Nether Realms.
It should have been the other way around, considering the sort of lineup that they have. But hey, retakes is not what you want to go in if you're Team Reckoning. We correctly pointed out at the very starting that you need to run down the clock if you're RGE. You need to fight for space. You need to fight for every part of the map when you're running a double controller setup. Or at least if you're not contesting, if you're playing a slow default, just focus on flanks a little bit more when you're trying to retake. Just directly try to retake just by throwing a wall or just by throwing a cloudburst a poison orb in front of your opponents won't do the job. Again, they've left B completely open. This time it's Siniko, so it is understandable, but Flamen throws the cascade and tries to get into the side. He has been able to, with no damage taken on to himself. Let's see if OG, they're able to stop this retake.
Yikes.
Of course, Anti, what a flake he did. What a flick he made over there onto Deadly 10. He's out of the server, and so are the hopes of retake from Team Reckoning.
Yeah, but look at the positioning that Flaben's going for. He might just be the man who can make a difference. While he's pushing the front lines, his teammates are already trying to attack OG towards bottom mid, but that is not gonna work out. At least I like this approach from Reckoning. You know, they at the very least try to tackle OG down where they will be hiding. They know for a fact that just simply cutting line of sight via B main is not going to work, right? Placing a Viper wall over there or placing harbor walls over there is not going to stop OG from spamming through and draining utility in post-plant situation. So they would much rather try to fight OG towards bottom mid. They tried it, they lost their fights, and now Reckoning will hopefully be able to pull that same thing off with better weaponry. If not, just prevent OG from coming in the first place. Cascade put down, but Deadly not striking when the opportunity is presented.
These are the shots that you need to hit, because if you do not, on some other part of the map, your player will be taken down. And Deadly goes for a repeat, gets a leg shot this time around. And will he be punished? Almost. Tesseract almost punishing him. But on the other side, Boya is able to get a frag out main.
Enemy kill.
Second time, the third time, always a charm, and this time he'll finish what he started. Legged AZs in the previous shot, is able to convert it into a frag. But on the other side, Orangutan, they've already shifted their focus, and this time around Reckoning is ready. Look at that. They already have an anchored out back C side. Rawfuel is trying to exploit the space out garage. Boya's ready. It all comes down to the aim duel. Tesseract also slowly walking. Checks the corner fully, but it's Trace who wins the fight. And already the rotations have been called off. Deadly, he might get caught off guard in Rawfuel. He has a great timing. A great timing. Hoya taken off. Trace also beheaded. And OG, they've got themselves into the side and probably into a post-plant situation.
Rawfuel threads the needle perfectly. The moment his enemies are distracted, he slips past. In just a split second, the round turns around. And now he has to finish what he started. The man who made it look possible now has to make it all on his own. And he's got quite a lot of suppressive power against him. The high tide will definitely lock him out of the action. And if that's not enough, Deadly has the operator as well. Cove broken down. He kills Deadly, but Flaben's there. It almost was the ace for Rawfuel, but he will be denied the satisfaction.
Ultimate ready.
Ooh, an important round to win. whenever you're in the cove, you can stick it to half. And I don't know why Team Reckoning took a little bit of a risk not doing that. But hey, it works out in the end. It works out in the end and you're able to close out the round, and that is what matters. Ooh, Deadly missing a few shots here. Still not warm enough maybe. But Raw Fuel, he definitely turned the tide in the round. It was looking like a Reckoning round after they were able to get those few frags, but he almost turned the round on its head.
Yeah, and now Reckoning have the Reckoning, if you reckon what I mean. That's enough puns and wordplays for this match. I will have to start referring to Flabin's ultimate as something else because I can't call it right. No, it will just
Boom Boom Shocker.
confuse. Okay, no, I'm definitely not using that. Definitely not using that. But
Hey, it does it though.
Look at this highlight though.
Boom
It kind
shot.
of bisects the whole area. And now that the ultimate has also been invested, it will kind of tell OG to back off. But OG are adamant on continuing in this region, and they pay the price for it. They
You hit
almost
those.
pay the price for it. They lost Tesseract as well. They had the chance to recover him again, but if you
Finally.
keep peeking Deadly again and again, he will kill you at one point. Oh, but still,
always the
OG are
third.
adamant.
It's always the third bullet for Deadly though. That does the job. He missed the first two, and finally even gives the op diff to Anti. Looking to take him down.
Here.
Has the taste of his own medicine, and it's all down to Raw Fuel and AVK.
One enemy remaining.
Seriously?
Spike down A.
Just a tingle. Just a tingle in his stomach. Yeah, there's someone there. There's someone there. Let me shoot. He gets a frag. AVK a tad bit too
30
late
seconds
on
left.
the trade here. And that should be enough. I mean, Reckoning they've done enough to win the round. The swing is great. And Reckoning, they get their fourth.
And Reckoning had absolutely no problem with OG coming down and challenging A-Long this hard. There was plenty of harbor utility in the way to stop their advance, you know. The first high tide invested kind of forces OG to use a lot of flashes and cloud bursts just for the entry towards long itself. And once they have done that, they also have to deal with the op in the hands of Deadly 10. Plus, because you've already expended so much utility just trying to counter the harbor util, you don't have anything left to suppress Deadly 10, and that just lets him have so much control, so much freedom. This time, Raw Fuel disrespecting the cascade, dashes right into its sewers. At the same time, to stop him from coming upstairs, there's a secondary high tide invested. And if that's not enough, there's gonna be the toxin screen in the way as well. So there's just way too much util to boil down the time for OG. They're forced to almost every time make plays in the last 30 to 40
The
seconds.
re-clear. The re-clear is just insane. Reckoning. The frag won't be there. But look at this. Do they expect Flabber in the corner? He also throws down a cove. Harsh is also supporting. He's waiting for a flash to be thrown, which isn't me. But they'll still clear the corners. They'll still clear the corner. They'll still throw some utility. And OG, they barge into the A side.
Spike
Yeah, and they
planted.
basically bamboozle Reckoning into giving away the site. Reckoning was so adamant on defending a shot, they were just using all that utility over there, using all the cascades and high tides to keep OG away from that region. But they forget that A-Long has already leaked out, and OG get the site, which leaves the Reckoning members then trapped towards shot. Even though Hoya is able to get the dispatch onto Tesseract, it really doesn't ease his job in this retake. He will have to relinquish this round.
Placing alarm bot.
A good attempt from the side of Team Reckoning. Although they
Player
should have
standing.
maybe
What?
called in for more rotations over there. Yeah, I mean, Rafael sometimes he's just nutty. He's just nutty. Hits shots like Goya. Flash, the information given. It's better to save the rifle. He decides to fight it out. Fight it out. And he'll be punished because of it. No rifles into the next round. OG, they've got half a dozen on the board.
OG have got the 6th round mark already, which means they are already leading in this half. Anything above this is a bonus. And keep in mind that this might just be the stronger side for Reckoning Esports. They have so much utility to slow OG's fast-paced attacks down to a crawl. And OG haven't been able to execute those brutal, fast-paced rounds at all because of all the suppressive utility. So what they've been doing is just mid-rounding their rotations and making sure that they're able to race OG to the correct site before the reinforcements arrive. And when OG are forced to play on the basis of just mid-round executes, I'm sorry, not even executes, just mid-round adjustments rather than those burst executes, it kind of takes away a huge chunk of their firepower. On the other hand, when Reckoning try to do the same thing on the attacking side, they will have plenty of opportunities to take map control away from OG. And this kind of forces OG to play this very reactive, very passive style, which kind of makes them not so big of a threat. But despite them being forced out of their natural game style, OG are leading, which kind of tells you how resilient they are. And Reckoning will have to make them get a lot more passive if they want to be comfortable over here.
Getting 2 more rounds should be the priority for Team Reckoning though this time.
Blocking sight.
And Deadly will play on the knives. He'll save some more credits to put it in an operator the next round. This beam-in push is not being marked. Bear in mind, Team OG! Alright, anyways, Andy Rody just checks the angle, takes care of Deadly. Now it's Trist who's trying to hold down Garage. Gets one, gets the second. That's one hell of a spray down. Great shots from him, hiding in the corner. Oh, that rat spot never dies. It never dies. And Moya sitting in the smoke is another surprise. Tesseract trying to damage control here. That's what it is. In a 1v3, yes, Trist is a little bit low, but he's flanked already towards C-Long. Does he expect? Of course he does. Wait a minute. In a 1v2, Harsh, it's better to use the Seekers here. Oh, anyway, he has a Trailblazer too. Tesseract has a belt of utility himself. So this could be still a very possible round. Those 1v1s just, they should not be gifted. 40 seconds left on the clock. A lot of time. He could go anywhere right now.
That high tide, it actually gives away what Reckoning's play is. When you put down a high tide like that, it kind of tells you that their intention is to clear backside and then head in towards
30
default.
seconds left.
And this makes it very obvious for Tesseract that Garage was unmarked, which he uses to slip past. And even though the Seekers have now been deployed, it's too late. He's already repositioned very well.
The position will be given away though. And Tesseract just needs information here about both the players. And he'll not get the information about Flabbin. That could be difficult. He's playing an off angle inside. Tesseract needs to hit both these two headshots. Gets one! And then the second! Oh my god! He was literally put in a
Last
1v4.
round in the half.
Not even a trade. It was a 1v4. Just dot 1v4. And he comes out on top.
And there's no way that you can shut this guy down. Tesseract played it so patiently, so masterfully. Reckoning was just feeding into him one by one. I can understand Trist dying on C-Long because he's low on HP. That's not the problem. The problem was Flabbin using the high tide in that moment. When he cuts off Garage and C-Long like that, it makes it very obvious for Tesseract that Garage will be free. So he uses that to mark his escape. And as soon as he's gotten away, he's scot-free. Oh my goodness, that could have been a disaster. That's the second time Deadly dashed into that wall accidentally, and Rawfuel punishes them.
Ring around the roses. Won't matter at all. His Rawfuel with his knife is just too accurate. Switches to the operator. Almost got the fourth too, but Boya stops him. Has the knockdown. And anyway, since it's the last round, you better go for it. Although the Hunter's Fury is instant. Tesseract just instantly destroys it.
One enemy remaining.
4v2 retake. This won't happen. It's now a 1v4 situation. And he swings out. And a great half from Orangutan.
Switching
Yeah,
sides.
Orangutan just making Reckoning run around a bit too much. They were almost never able to catch up to their mid-round adjustments. And yes, the one silver lining for Reckoning in this entire half was that they can boil down the timer to the dot. And they can make OG play in the late game, the late round situations very often. Which did happen, but OG are just a bit too good at adjusting. And they were almost always able to get to the other side where there was no resistance and plant that spike without losing a lot of members. Let's see if this Harbor Viper combination enables Revenant Esports to win in the second half as well, or will they fail to replicate whatever they copied from Loud?
Hit for my wings, I need my hands. This life is real, can't play pretend. Came off the bench, I get it in.
Presenting Hyundai i20 N-Line. It's time to play.
Yes, I'm a Gen Z, or should I say, the the Gen next. And I don't let fear hold me back from doing anything. I choose to move fearlessly to it all.
Hey buddy, we need you to trim your beard for this next scene.
What? Okay, fine, I'll admit it. I move fearlessly in most things, but I draw the line here. What if I Nico cut myself?
Try this.
Phillips.
Hit for my wins, I need my hands. This life is real, can't play pretend. Came off the bench, I get it in.
Welcome back to NODWIN Valorant Challenges South Asia, driven by Hyundai, and our styling partner is Philips OneBlade. When I speak about style, I always think about Revenant Esports because they bring so much innovation to the table. Look at this Harbor Viper composition. You might not be used to seeing this on a map like Haven, but keep in mind that Loud love using this entire lineup. Let's see if Reckoning are able to make it their own. The Frenzy does help Antidote get one, but RBK uses the Nebula as cover temporarily, which lets him a single frag, but that's all that she wrote for him. OG now not really losing the advantage, but they're at least able to find this isolated frag onto Voya, who was hoping to be the flanker, and Rofuel kills Hush, extending in towards CT. It's all in the hands of Laben, and he's not even being allowed to plant. There's a dog and all the bullets being thrown at him, and even if he can dodge the animals, he won't be able to dodge the beast named Rofuel.
Was a very important pistol for Reckoning. They needed the pistol and the follow-up round to at least make it contested, to make the map contested. But now it looks like a one-way street. It's a highway on which Team Orangutan is just running. They're just running with the rounds that they have. And already up to 9-4 scoreline. No force buy coming in from Team Reckoning. So that essentially tells us the Team Reckoning should have the double digits here. They should be the 10th. If some heroics cannot be shown from either Deadly or Harsh. Even Voya has a share, so him too. The wall will not give some information about C Long.
So many sneak
But
throughs.
Chris is able to get in and get the frag through with the shorty.
Oh my god.
That's a good one to find, because look at that. Reckoning, their enemy is ready for a hit, and he's just guarded by Aziz with his Marshal, and that's a one bullet shotgun. Not shotgun, but one bullet shotgun, if you know what I mean.
Unassignable, dude.
So
Don't sweat on it. Don't sweat on it too much. It's completely fine. Twist, the guy who was supposed to lurk inside, has now been taken care of. Everyone else walking in one by one. But when double peak comes through like that, even the mighty Tesseract will fall. And now they're heading towards a lake. Voya sees this coming from a mile away, but Aziz is prepared. What on earth was that shot? That was nutty. One person snuck through. Flavin going around the heaven side, being extra careful. This will reduce the amount of angles that they need to clear. Another high tide has been deployed to make sure that nobody from short or long can shoot them down. Which is good. It kind of indicates to them that they're aware about the presence of Rofuel towards long. But will they check him on time? No! Flavin had the right idea, but not the right weaponry or the timing. He's been given a golden opportunity. Voya had the option to isolate 1v1s, but he still doesn't survive the first encounter.
Orangutan was a bit close, but I think that's how they like it. They want to get so close into the rounds and then finally win it out. Hey, anyway, it's the 10th round on the board for the players of Team Orangutan. Need 3 more to close the round. And by the way, the way that the round went, I think, yep, they'll be investing into the rifles. They will have 3 rifles. I don't consider Bulldog as a rifle because it does not one-shot headshot you. So, yeah, I mean, that really will help you a lot, but there'll be 3 rifles. There'll be a couple of phantoms and probably a vandal around the board. A good attempt from Team Reckoning, but it did not bear fruit as Team Orangutan. They secure the round.
Scanning ahead.
But this time the Viper walls are being changed so often.
Shock dart.
It is really beautiful to see Revenant Esports at play over here. Last time they used it towards C, which allowed Trist to sneak inside, but this time Trist is still walking towards C long, hoping to be the lurker, hoping to catch someone off guard, but Aziz will shut down any surprises he had in store. Now this negates the Viper wall that has been placed over here. So Reckoning are forced to use their Reckoning, pun intended, but they haven't used any other utility yet. Only one cascade towards CT. It allows them to get inside, but Heaven is still very much open. They're just hoping that Deadly's preemptive positioning can secure the plant for them. And Flabin has to stick it. He doesn't have a code to protect himself, which he has already used up. As soon as the high tide comes online, he uses it to delay. But now that Voya has been discovered towards mid, OG will have to check their backlines too. This splits the entire defense into a two-pronged approach. If they can somehow pinch Deadly 10, this will be done and dusted. It will be over. If not, Antidote has to do it all by himself. And he takes a massive jump, a leap of faith which leads to his death.
Left in a 1v2, raw fuel, that too with the Bulldog. Not the best possible weapon, and both the players are grouped up together. That's a great approach. The trade is imminent, and that is why I don't like Bulldog at all. The headshot was there, but raw fuel, he knew he couldn't go for a transfer because that is not a one-shot kill weapon. Hey, anyways, a great attempt from team Orangutan, but Reckoning. They understand the superiority of their weapons. They use it, even though in the starting it looked like Orangutan might have the round in their bag. But Flabin came to the rescue, got the frags, and gets the job done for his team.
Yeah, I mean, this whole lurk system from Reckoning is just so annoying to deal with from OG. If you somehow find out where Trist is, you also have to figure out where Voya is. So there's always like multiple layers of lurking from Reckoning. They use the Cascade once again, which basically makes Raw Fuel kinda useless over here because his operator doesn't get to see anyone. He's been cut off from the action. Reckoning used this to creep slowly in towards A long. But look at the counter utility that's been placed. This time RVK uses a smoke which on paper helps Reckoning, but I know that he used it just to let Raw Fuel reposition back to safety. So this kind of makes Reckoning confused as well, right? Like, why would RVK use that control smoke towards A long? Maybe there's a flank in the work. Maybe there's something else happening. And because this insecurity now creeps into Reckoning, they are exploring towards Garage as well.
The thing that concerns me the most is the Spike is sitting with almost no backup. It's just Harsh over there. But if Raw Fuel decides to be a little bit more aggressive, that operator can take down both. Since they're not in a tradable position. So you need to be careful with Raw Fuel. Understandably, because no one's watching short for him, understandably he just walks towards CT and is playing backside. And generally, there's a dart mid-round that clears one part of the map and helps you to rotate, but there's nothing. Last 30 seconds, and Raw Fuel always good for one. Will get it and fall back to safety. They're happy to play a retake here.
There's almost never a wall that's been placed towards Heaven. At least the Cascade covers CT, and this Viper wall keeps them safe for the moment, but Tesseract is already coming in from behind. Voya has been sent to mark him, but the alarm bot won't really help his cause as Tesseract is able to dispatch him to the nether realms instantly. And now Reckoning are feeling the crunch. They are forced to take fights towards CT, hoping to make sure that they don't get pinched from both sides and they can at least focus fire towards one of these areas, which they are doubling down on. This flank from Deadly is so good. He's able to get everybody. A triple for this man as he steps up above and beyond his Call of Duty. Reckoning Esports hold on to the A site.
It was long time no see for Deadly, but finally he shows what he can do. And that is the 6th round, and I don't know if Team OG have any more money to put into the next round. That does not mean you can count them out of the round. But hey, still, it'll be a better opportunity rather than having an OG full of rifles. It's better to fight them with the sheriff that they will have in the next round. And yes, that's the reason for the timeout too. Because now you're in a vicious cycle. You'll get one round with the weapons, and if you lose that, you'll instantly be forced to an eco.
Well, it's not the economy I'm worried about right now. Reckoning Esports, they are starting to catch up with OG. And yeah, OG have a couple of rounds in the bag which separate them and Reckoning, but like you said, if the economy breaks down, it will be a big problem. The fact that Reckoning have 2 controllers gives them so many opportunities to sneak inside and pressure OG on multiple aspects of the map. Like, take this one for an example. They were pestering A long quite often, right? And then when RVK decided to put some unorthodox smokes to use, OG, they've kind of forced Reckoning to go elsewhere, which ended up backfiring for OG because as soon as that alarm bot was broken towards Garage, OG had so many members stationed on the C site. You had Rafuel defending A by himself, and sure, he's a great AWPer, but there's only so much that he can do to keep Reckoning back.
And once again, look at the wall. The high tide blocks any vision from either garage window or B main. That's a great wall to just deny information. And that's what this lineup can do beautifully.
Exactly.
Don't give information towards your opponents, don't give information to the defense, and they'll try to make proactive plays just like this. RVK, he has been able to creep into a corner. Let's see if it gets checked by Tristan or not. He's waiting with his arms open and gets a frag. Deadly gets another 2. And yes, they choose the wrong side. But still, I think with the weapon that they have, it shouldn't be a problem. Rafuel wastes all of his other knives onto the wrong player, does not connect. And now it's an entry from side team Reckoning. Deadly. And he gets 1. The trade is there. And no follow-up. Aziz comes in, finally takes Harsh off, and Aziz gets another frag. Oh yeah, a little late to the party. And this could mean the difference of round winning and loss. The swarm is perfect. Oh yeah, caught off guard by the flash. And the Seekers just to get into a rifle. Yes, Rafuel is still stuck. But the regrowth will at least make him fightable. And now with Aziz, he could be the bait. And Aziz just swings out. How are you winning these thrifties? OG. Great reads, and I thought even after the read, Reckoning should be able to barge into the side with the superior weapons. That is just not the case.
That's the thing, right? Reckoning, they are using all this utility to clear up the distance and cover their entry inside. But because they denied information via the high tide on mid early on, OG pushed in towards both sides of the map, C long as well as A long. Reckoning got kills on 2 of those players, and that was an easy 3v5. But what they don't realize is that later on, when the shorter guns of OG are deadly enough, that utility backfires. Reckoning Esports this time once again are going for a fast C hit, and this time they find no resistance. No KJ utility, no people holding in this region as well. They put down the cove and they're gonna start planting. Plus there's a poison cloud on top of the spike, which means it will make it easier for anyone to melt down with the snake bite.
Aziz on the flank. They'll have to buy time, but there are 2 directions where you have to watch, and Triss is being called off. Watch one of the angles. Flaben, an important frag because this gives him the ultimate. He pops it instantly. Anti. Stunned. The refrag from Flaben. The flank is too late from Aziz now. The high tide to give him a pocket of area to play around, but does not get the frag. Oh yeah, though with the trade onto Aziz. Now the lineups will come in, but are they a little bit too late? Because RVK is just sticking. Oh, the poison, the snake bite lands on time. Anti, he did throw in the ultimate. The shots whiffed, but it's Triss essentially to get the frag. And Reckoning, by the skin of their teeth, they win the round.
And Reckoning had no sweat towards that end when the lockdown and the cosmic divide were committed. They knew for a fact that the snakebite setup will be able to melt anybody. With the poison cloud being active over there as well as the goo placed underneath, it was guaranteed that Trist is going to be able to keep everyone off the spike. The only saving grace would have been if RVK was able to stick it to half, but even that did not happen. But you also have to give credit where it's due. Reckoning are using the anti-flank so well. Every time OG try to creep in from a backstab or try to spread out aggressively, it's being detected very early on by Reckoning Esports. Or maybe except this time, Voya, keen on peeking towards the bottom of mid, ends up ignoring the double door region, and he pays for it with his life.
Reckoning and the Thrifties. That's exactly what has been happening for the past few rounds. And this time around, you have Triss, Rafuel, the only person with a weapon delivers. And there's another frag by Aziz too. Alright, so there were 2 people with rifles, and those are just enough. Those rifles are just enough because Reckoning, they've been reduced to 2. Deadly has an op, so it won't help a lot. And look at the ground control that the players of Team OG have. All 3 players on flank, they have each and every angle covered. The only player on side is also playing very safe. We'll get both the information on both the players, and this will give a reaction. This will start a reaction in their rotation. So Flaben, he can still plant with the cove on. He tries to tap and bait out a peek, but it's Tesseract on the flank who gets another frag. RVK catches the player not looking in his direction. That's another victory with the worst possible weapons.
When OG are just completely disrespecting Reckoning's utility right now. The one advantage that Reckoning composition gives them is that they can deny information, but what do OG do? They just basically ensnare their opponents and surround them from every direction. Nowhere to go, nowhere to hide. You can't even fall back when OG are circling around you like that. And then Reckoning find themselves stuck in A short and A long, with no way to go ahead, no way to continue backing off. You have to just stay over there and hope that OG will offer you these fights which you can win. And we know that's not gonna happen.
Not at all. Not at all. And OG, I don't even understand why they're buying weapons at this point of time. Because they're just so good with the sheriffs. I'd rather play with the sheriffs one round with either with the weapons. I mean, you're losing the rounds that you have weapons in, but winning rounds like these, that's the third thrifty. Although the game did not call it thrifty because all of the players got there once, but it still did not have a lot of investment on the back of it. So 3 rounds where Reckoning should have been on top, but it is Team OG, and 3 rounds is more than enough to turn the tide of a whole game.
Is it though? With Reckoning having these many ultimates to work with, at least entry into the site shouldn't be a problem for them. Yes, the weaponry can be a disadvantage, but like we said, Reckoning can easily use their harbor utility to cover distance and get to a range where even these specters can be deadly. Cascade to cover entrance of B first, and then another high tide, which Antidote will try to disrespect. He's using the nanoswarms to keep Reckoning away for now, but eventually he will have to concede. OG decide to amp up the side defense instead of trying to hold them back to its garage. Deadly jumps on top, and he goes on an execution mission, slaying everybody by himself and taking matters into his own hands. This could be the opening that Reckoning were looking for. Viper's Pit also invested to make sure that all the hard work of Deadly 10 doesn't go to waste.
Deadly. You needed the entry, he gave you 3. That's fair. That's a good number. And now Reckoning should have no problem holding the side down, because anyways Rafuel is saving the operator and Tesseract is just looking for exits. The flash will indicate that there is someone interested, is aware about the corner that is ultimate left. Instantly backs off, respecting the economy that they have, because it's 1300 for Hoya and 1450 for himself. So not a lot of money for Team Reckoning, and they cannot even afford to lose a single round from here on. So Rafuel, his operator might just get tested here, and it comes out on top. He does not miss like just Deadly 10 did in the previous half. But anyways, Reckoning, they get their 8th round on the board, and OG still looking for the final one.
Well, Reckoning Esports, they survived the one round where they didn't have enough weaponry, and this forces OG to amp up their arsenal. Rafuel now has an AWP instead, and this should be far more deadlier. Reckoning at least are able to navigate their way through this minefield of utility that Antidote is placing down. And this time he's changed his setup. The nanoswarms and the alarm bots are towards B. Only the turret is towards the garage region. But that doesn't concern Reckoning, because they will use this cascade to get inside. But that's what happens when you don't break the Sova util. Tesseract gets a freebie.
Starting off the end maybe. Oya still has the lockdown available, so we cannot still be very sure, and Deadly's already into the side, but he does not get even one. And Aziz from A short is able to rack up 2. Tesseract always good for 1, and it's all down to Hoya, who will be taken care of. And Orangutan, they showed us why did they pick the map. They knew they were confident enough. Yes, they could have been flabbergasted by the lineup that their opponents had for a little bit, but it never seemed like that they had any problem. They were always comfortable. They did not even flinch once, and they're able to win the game in a very easy fashion.
Yeah, they basically turned the lineup of Reckoning Esports into something that hurt them on multiple occasions. While Reckoning was using their high tides and cascade to grab some land and make sure that they can get area without being shot down, OG then just take the opposite areas of the map for themselves and then box Reckoning inside. At least that's what was happening in the second half. But in the first half, there was a lot more going on, which gave OG a massive advantage. We'll discuss all of that in the post-game segment. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after a short break.
Hit for my wins, I need my hands. This life is real, can't play pretend. Hit multiple things, I get it in.
I know my destiny. I know my destiny. I know my destiny. I know my destiny. I know my destiny.
With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to once again welcome back our YouTube audience. You guys, you're about to witness the second map go live between these two teams. It's Fracture and it's OG versus Reckoning once again. They had a lovely game in the previous one. They tried a Harbor Viper composition on Haven, and it seems like Reckoning are not gonna shy away from the Viper on this map either. Keep in mind, ladies and gentlemen, this will be the second time they face each other on Fracture. The last time they faced each other, Reckoning was able to win 14-12. It went into an overtime, and then they were able to win by a tiny margin.
But what do I see? A raw fuel or a cipher? You take a player who's known for his aggressive nature and put it on an agent which literally just sits and sees his camera.
I would much rather have raw fuel on a Cypher than him on a Sage.
Hey, but still,
Yeah, it is.
that's a big role change.
That is a massive role change. And it's not just a role change, it's also a lineup change for a lot of these players. I mean, Twist was not even there in Reckoning Esports the last time these teams faced each other. Deadly 10, he's playing the Raze, but last time it was Aziz on the Neon. This time it's Aziz on Raze. So yeah, there have been a few changes here and there. Let's see if that allows Reckoning Esports to push this game to map number 3. If not, at least they should be able to win this map, which they were able to win last time as well. Quite a lot of pressure put towards A. There's a Trailblazer being used to clear out A main while the rest of them try to jump out or drop. Now they're being held back temporarily by this paint shell, but it doesn't really stop the waterfall, and Rockfuel has to step up. Oh my god, it's not just him, everybody steps up. The crossfire between Tesseract and Aziz is lethal, and this is a quick shutdown.
Not even a point of damage on him. What a round from Orangutan. They defend the A side, and it is said that whenever there's an attack on A side, rather try defending it from the outskirts, maybe from A dish, maybe from A sands. But these players from Team Orangutan, they sat inside, just took in all the utility and still were able to come out on top. That rarely happens. And Orangutan managing to grab a round like that, that is just great. And that to a pistol, this will give you another second round on the back of it.
Ooh, now look at this toxic stream that's been put up by Reckoning.
Amateur.
It doesn't really help them get into the B main region where Antidote is just bullying everyone, but at least they're able to get kills elsewhere. They're able to get one towards Arcade, get one towards B main. This opens up the B site. Now the only problem is, in order to actually get there, they have to go in without any smokes at all. Flaben's already down, Triss has deployed his toxin screen towards the other side, so they will have to rely on a contact play. Or they can wait for Rawfuel to make this move. They were prepared for this one. They were hoping somebody from OG would push out and then Reckoning would be able to get that kill because they were holding for those pushes. But it still doesn't help their cause. Rawfuel's able to get away with murder in cold blood.
And he's still sticking around. He wants more. And if he gets caught without a frag, that's A side completely open. But Reckoning, they're not going deep enough. They still want to hit this B side. Rawfuel has a fair idea because all of his trips are towards the A side, so he knows no one has crossed out A
30
main.
seconds left.
The trips are giving so much information right now that OG just need to watch this B side. And as soon as they try to cross, they need one. That's about it, because Rawfuel again has logged his way all the way up to B arcade. And now Triss, yes, crosses, gets the plant, but look at Rawfuel, not being expected, gets the frag.
Planted.
And Aziz, just with the paint shell, is able to clear out Triss. A good round from OG. It looked a tad bit difficult as soon as both the players had some weapons in their hands to work with. But hey, OG closed it out 2-0.
Yeah, and OG were partially able to close it out because Rawfuel survived their encounter. When Reckoning have their backs against the wall like that, I appreciate what they tried to do over there. They just tried to wait for OG's pushes and punish the re-aggression, which is amazing, right? Because they have no ability to get to the B side by themselves. They can't have any cover. So they would much rather wait it out and hope that OG grant them an edge. Which almost would have happened if Rawfuel lost that duel over there, but he's playing really well as a Cypher this time. A trip towards the dish, another one towards the side itself. And while that's happening, you've got a lot of pressure being put by Aziz towards A main.
The double smokes out A main too. So they're contesting for A lobby. And this pushes the players of Team Reckoning towards this B side, which is sort of undefended. Because you just have Tesseract present over here who's looking to get a frag with the bulldog. And he gets one. Maybe the second, only if the reset was too good. Which it isn't. Flamin is able to trade it out. And now the flank activate. Aziz. I'll say he was a bit lucky since he did not saw Trish, but he only needed a bullet to confirm him. Harsh, disrespecting the smoke, gets on site, calls it clear. The plan should go down now.
Yeah, but in order to actually plant, he needs some backup from his teammates who aren't anywhere close. Flavin's busy holding Aziz back. And the only person who can really help Harsh out over here is Voya. He also needs to make a risky cross. Now, luckily, nobody's marking Arcade yet. Harsh uses the guiding light to re-clear the regions. They don't have any smokes
30
once again,
seconds
so it will be very risky for
Spike
Reckoning to
planted.
actually cross over into the site. They would much rather play closer towards the generator and canteen itself. They have some sort of a chance over here. Just on the edge, other side of the smoke, both the players wait for it to fall down. And inside the smokes, the Spectres have higher mobility. Antidote gets the frag. Harsh, responsible for so much, has way too much pressure. Warrior's able to channel too, and he's got all of them. Reckoning win their first round on the back of a massive clutch from Warrior.
Oh, he throws them a lifeline. Oh, yeah, throws the players of Team Reckoning a lifeline here. Because yes, they'll be able to half buy into the round and Orangutan will be there with a full buy. But Reckoning, if they lost that round, it could have been deadly for them. Anyways, Fracture is a very attacker-sided map and losing first 4 rounds could have been deadly for the side of Team Reckoning, but it isn't. Now Reckoning, they put 1 on the board and again will fight against all odds to win this round since their economy is on the brink of a collapse.
Okay, that's a very early Seeker investment. Tesseract wants to fight, you know he can. But he would much rather just use the utility and keep tower control for himself. This buys so much time for OG because the rotations have arrived over here already. Okay, massive movement moment from Deadly, but the flashes actually result in his demise.
Oh, but still one of the players surviving. Voya jumps over the drips and is able to make it out of here. 46 HP on him, 76 on 78 on Flabin. All these players very brittle,
Last
very low.
player standing.
But they all chime in together. The flash, perfect, gives the information. And Harsh just slides out of there. Aziz needs to make the play happen, but no, Flabin on the angle will get the frag. And the round for Team Reckoning.
Reckoning Esports turn up the pace all of a sudden. Not something that OG were prepared for. And you could see that OG were kind of used to playing it nice and slowly. They would often apply pressure on multiple sides. They would often have Aziz fight towards A main, and then every now and then Tesseract would apply pressure to Arcade. With the flashes that he was using, you could tell his early intention tells him to fight, but with the suppressive refragging from Reckoning Esports, he was forced to just fall back and give up tower. Now Reckoning dropped the pace back again. It was a fast B crunch in the previous round. It's a slow A walkout this time.
Deadly wants to fight. And so he will. Again, Aziz with the frag, and this gives him the showstopper. And it gets activated, but does not find anything else. Flabin inside gets one. But the double cherries are still there. Tesseract. That's another frag. That's another pinching. Tesseract with the third two. And Orangutan, they continue with the run of their thrifties.
There's just so many thrifty rounds by Orangutan right now. I have lost count. We had plenty of them in Haven as well. And now the trend continues in Fracture. This was just an absolute roller coaster of a round. Reckoning did nothing wrong. They tried to pressure A like they normally would. They used the utility out of A main to get into the side, and sure, the side itself was not a problem. But how they are able to just give away all these frags to Tesseract is beyond me. Okay, Aziz cooking, fragging, flying out to decapitate Flabin. Flabin couldn't even do anything. There was a fault line in his face. And if the re-clear isn't enough by Deadly, they will still be pushed back. There's just so much being thrown out by Antidote. Even though Reckoning are able to get the trade, they have no choice but to go into the waiting arms of Tesseract. He's been deadly here with the Sheriff before. He can be deadlier. And even RVK is underground. They wouldn't have expected him to be in this position.
That will be put to test. Because he was flashed, he did not even know the angle he walked on. And Harsh is able to get a frag off of it. Even Deadly has a showstopper because of the frag he got out B main. So this will strengthen the post-blast situation from the side of Team Reckoning. Let's see how we want to play it out. Trist has a molly too. Now RVK on the flank. This could be good. This could be huge if he's able to get a frag or two. Anti with the Rolling Thunder. If he decides to use it, it could be interesting to see. Raw Fuel ready to swing off any utility that Anti has. The Rolling Thunder is the first one. Gets invested. Wants to isolate the player on side. Raw Fuel. Trish was not concussed at all, but even loses the fight. Raw Fuel gets the second. All down to Deadly. In a 1v2, has all the utility he needs. The Molly goes in. Showstopper isolates the player, but Raw Fuel with the trade, does he have enough time? Oh, it's gonna be super close. I think he has. Yes, he does have enough time. And AWK, AWK, the one to close the round in their favor. And OG get their fourth.
Reckoning got awfully close to a victory over there. It shouldn't have been this close in the first place. Antidote had the right read. He knew for a fact that there's plenty of utility available on Reckoning, and he assumed that Deadly would also be towards B main. A main. And why wouldn't he be? He's got the showstopper after all, so it makes more sense for him to play along with his teammates. So Antidote lets the Rolling Thunder rip towards A main, and even though the first guy did not get hit, Rawfuel was able to get the frags regardless. That just tells you how good of a game he's having right now. Rawfuel sitting on 8 frags and 4 deaths. And he's not even playing the Jet this time. With just a Cypher, an agent that he's not super comfortable on, he's able to find so much value. Voya spots a double push from Dish coming out, so he falls back using the zipline. That's a much smarter choice because now he's regrouped with his teammates. But while his teammates are trying to desperately get into the B side, all this counter utility is holding them at bay. And again, it's just beyond me how Rawfuel is able to get so many of these frags without even putting his life in danger.
Deadly good for one. The player being bit by the Seekers is able to get a frag, but Anti, he replies with 2. He gets a double and he's able to
player
suppress all of the players.
Spike
And then the
down,
trade
B.
onto Tesseract. Oh, Harsh. He tried his level best, gets taken down, and that's the revival on Tesseract 2. Reckoning. They cannot get the answers to their questions. Chris is able to put the pit down, but the spam is just too much. Too much, and the paint sales from Aziz close around. Orangutan, not only do they get their 5th, but force Team Reckoning to a eco.
That whole round was just a case of mistiming windows. You first had the perfect setup of getting towards the B main area. As soon as OG put down the molly and the smoke, Reckoning are like, yeah, sure, you're trying to boil our time down. We might as well go ahead and capture the ultimate orb. And they did so, but they didn't realize that Rawfuel will be able to get one for free. So they're like, okay, cool, Rawfuel's alone on the side, let's just get him first. The Seekers are invested, I'm sorry, not the Seekers. They just used all their util to dump onto him. Used the showstopper as well to get inside, but it doesn't help their cause. And then all of a sudden, just before the Viper is suppressed, she puts down her Viper's pit. It still doesn't help. This time at least they're able to kill Aziz right off the bat, so this early aggression from OG towards Dish has not paid off. But look at the rotations it pulls. They re-clear Dish with 3 people, and Deadly has to do so much. The smoke put down by Flabin allows them to highway into the site, but it doesn't really keep them safe, you know? With the murals have been activated, they will realize that it's just Harsh on the site by himself. His teammates are far away from him. They're trying to corner him. It is all down to Voya, who's trying to help out his teammate Harsh and help him stay alive for as long as possible. But the timing window's gone. RBK can still get those frags. So can Rawfuel. The smoke isolates them. It's just Flabin left into the site.
And he'll be revealed. He'll definitely be revealed, but the angle does not get checked properly. Flabin, very little HP, but he gets the job done with the Sheriff. Oh, Reckoning, they show the Sheriff says something weak in Master 2. It's not only you, Team OG.
Revenant Esports had a good recovery this time around. They had to make this round just by the skin of their teeth, you know. It was a very scrappy one. They continued to force the fights again and again towards A main. I mean, I can understand why they did so, right? Because Aziz was lost towards Dish, so they would much rather try to capitalize on the A side. But they didn't realize that there would be so many OG members re-clearing A and ready to reinforce it. I mean, if they're able to win a round with so many OG members stacking A, it's very impressive. This time Aziz has a lot of backup. Deadly 10, forced to swing out of the smoke. They thought the Trailblazer would help him out, but the fault line just made it so much easier. Another smoke deployed to push Reckoning away from A main, and while they do so, even Tesseract has joined Aziz in the region. Antidote's playing from Sands too.
The Once again, just a single rifle onto Aziz, so he needs to come out. Dude gets... Oh, I thought he gets the second there. But no. It's Trist who stops him in his tracks. Reckoning, they're hightailing it towards the B side, but do they check the corner? Raw fuel is in. I think they do because they saw the cam, I think. Oh, never mind. They're taking the rope. They're taking the rope. Raw fuel can have a moment of a lifetime, but he does not check. And neither does Hoya. A knife moment, maybe no. The trigger discipline comes in, but that's just a single frag. But again, it puts the players of team Orangutan
30
in an
seconds
advantage. With a recovered rifle, let's see Raw Fuel if he's able to stop this push because he is all alone on the site.
Yeah, and he would much rather give up this area. He would much rather stay alive and play along with his teammates. Because the one position that OG won't check is towards the main. And Raw Fuel uses that to punish Flabin. The trade comes through. Raw Fuel's on a killing spree.
my God.
That stun is perfect and Raw Fuel wraps up the round.
Ever see a Cypher pushing down B main on Fracture?
Exactly, right? He's not playing as if he's a standard sentinel at all.
The mentality is completely different. I mean, usually as a sentinel, even you're forced by your team to stay in a particular place just because you have your utility and it's so much important. It's so very important. But making plays like these, this is what Team Reckoning won't expect at all. He has pushed all the way up and is respecting his opponent's Cypher trip. He knows that the players have not infiltrated the A side. There's no rush. There's no need for me to break the trip right now. I can just play off of it. And that is exactly what he does there. Gets a frag, manages to find a weapon, and then snowballs the round. What a great round from Team OG.
OG using the exact same tactics they used in Haven. I mean, it doesn't matter if there's a Harbor on the other side or if there is the Raze or if there's a Viper. It doesn't matter to OG. They will still try to crunch Reckoning in every single direction. They've taken away so much space from them. It's almost like Reckoning are forced to play in the areas which OG are deliberately leaving vacant. You see the amount of pressure that Aziz is applying towards A main, it's not even funny. Yeah. And he keeps on changing his approach, right? Sometimes A main, sometimes B main. But wherever he is, the southern part of the map will be pressured by him and Tesseract together. Sometimes even Antidote will help out. And RVK will put in those smokes. So at least one part of the map will certainly be held with an iron grip when it comes to OG. All the other parts which aren't being aggressed upon, that's what Raw Fuel will mark.
I see that once again Aziz out A main, A lobby. He's not giving this area for free. Not any time, but this time he gets pressured. Then has the satchels to move around. The showstopper
No way.
means nothing. RVK and Aziz doubling down deadly 10. 2 bullets each. They get the flags. And he knows the TP. He knows where Flabber is exactly. Shoots the bullet right through the head. That is the 7th for Team OG. That is the 7th.
Flabin used this exact same teleport to pull off a 1v2 clutch last time, but not happening again. OG won't fall for the same trick twice, not across different maps. Trist cornered and will be sprayed down. OG are making this one look very easy.
There. Actually, yeah, you did compete Reckoning. Not this time around, guys. We were experimenting the previous time. You got us. Not this time. And they've delivered OG. On an attacking half, you get 7? That is disgusting. You don't get that number of rounds while you're defending on this map. And OG, they've continuously used the same trick again and again, pressuring one part of the map as you correctly pointed out, and Rafuel just takes care of the rest. That has just worked out for Team OG, and Reckoning seem to have no answer to it, even after the timeout they called. Once again, they try to dump some utility out A main, but there's no one pushing through the smoke. You're too late if you don't do that early on. And now Hoya, being spotted down, cannot push through the smoke himself. So RVK using a lot of utility early on, but this helps OG to grab space. Look at how deep they are in arcade.
Look at the position that's being held by Tesseract. I mean, he's just marking underground and making sure that any Reckoning members, if at all they get into the site, He's gonna be holding Canteen. Oh, Flaben had a wonderful opportunity. All this time, the site itself was clear. He could have snuck in. But the moment OG decided to get back to their default positions, that's when he starts to move up. That's unfortunate. And now Aziz getting all these frags for absolutely free. He lines up a killing spree for himself.
Oh, how much does he need more for another showstopper which he used the previous round? After
I mean-
the showstopper, he killed 2 more, 4 more here, and
He
died.
must be like 1 point away then.
Oh my, it's ready. It's one better. It's ready. My God, this is. I think if my calculation is correct, this is the 3rd showstopper he has, and usually an ultimate which takes up to 8 charges can be used twice at max. And this is his 3rd ready. 17 frags to his name. Only
That's just in
7
the first
deaths.
half. Yeah.
Exactly. That is just crazy.
Orangutan Esports, they are on a whole different level. Deadly can see his death coming from a mile away.
God.
At least Harsh will avenge him. But what does that even mean for Reckoning? It doesn't mean anything. They have no choice but to continue going towards A. Look at this little split up. Harsh is already inside the site, so maybe he can make a difference, but the spike is yet to make his way here. Flaben has to use his ultimate in order to rejoin his teammates, because he knew he wouldn't have been able to walk back to safety. Oh, but Harsh feeling dangerous. He's feeling adventurous. With his push towards Dish, he's able to grab the space that Reckoning desperately
planted.
needed. But now they're up against Tesseract. And this beast too is made of something else. Oh, position given away. Now nothing to hold back. Flappen! He snaps onto Flappen's head. What a disgusting display of power and reflexes. Harsh could be anywhere though.
Has to be inside though because of the trailblazer. And the flash is perfect! The flash is just perfect because Harsh was holding it off angle and Tesseract. Oh my God, he pulled off another 1v2. That, how do you deny that? That's just individual supremacy over here. Yeah, that is exactly what my reaction would have been if I was the coach of Team Reckoning.
Oh, fortunately you're not in his shoes, so you can breathe easy. It's Reckoning who are feeling the danger, feeling
Oh
the
my
heat.
God.
A 9-3 scoreline, a lot of people will consider this to be cursed, but I for one do not believe in those superstitions of any
okay.
kind. But
Okay.
I have to admit, when Orangutan are feeling so powerful, when 2 of their players are popping the hell off, how do you stop them? I guess the answer will be in the next half. We'll get to that second half after a short break.
Hit for my wins, I need my ends. This life is real, can't play pretend. Came off the bench, I get it in.
Presenting Hyundai i20 N-Line. It's time to play.
Yes, I'm a Gen Z. Or should I say, the Gen X. And I don't let fear hold me back from doing anything. I choose to move fearlessly to it all.
Hey buddy, we need you to trim your beard for this next scene.
What? Okay, fine, I'll admit it. I move fearlessly in most things, but I draw the line here. What if I Nico cut myself?
Try this.
Phillips.
Hit for my wins, I need my ends. This life is real, can't play pretend. Came off the bench, I get it in.
Welcome back to NODWIN Valorant Challenges South Asia. You guys are watching OG Clobber Reckoning Esports. And keep in mind, OG have already won the first map. Haven was a bold experiment from Reckoning where they picked up a Harbor Viper composition. It did not work out for them, but now they have changed things up. They have Flaben on the Omen and Trist has entered the fray. Deadly 10 is playing really well, but unfortunately not more powerful than Aziz and Tesseract, who are on a roll right now. Deadly will get detected, but the paranoia is perfect! It's amazing! Voya and Deadly get a multitude of frags. Antidote's able to retaliate, but how much can he possibly do?
One enemy
Oh, the
remaining.
flash is perfect. He's able to get those frags, but no, Flabbin recovers in time. Okay, that wasn't supposed to happen.
Both the players went on reload at the exact same time. The flash was perfect, but he did not have enough bullets to take the player down. A little bit unfortunate, but that's the curse activated. Because third round you win the pistol, that's the fourth. Next comes in the fifth, and Orangutan. Just be a little bit wary about it, and you should be fine. But Reckoning, they really have a chance now. Flabbin once again ready to stop any sort of an A push. The one way will be there, followed by some utility from Hutch, and probably Deadly 10 too.
Blinded.
OG taking things nice and slowly now. They knew that Deadly would come to challenge that one way. That's why they were holding that cheeky passive angle. But despite all that is said and done, Reckoning don't extend beyond their means. The Trailblazer is used to clear out the attacking spawn, and they will discover that OG have relinquished this area. But does that mean they're towards the northern side, or does that mean they're about to hit B main? That's something that Reckoning are yet to find out.
There's a frag, and Tesseract was behind her. I think he sneaked his way off a dish or maybe something like that. Because two of the players of Reckoning, Deadly 10 and Flabbin, they're already down A main. They've taken the space only to realize that the plant is going on to the A side. Some weapons have also been recovered. And now Tesseract, he just needs to get one here. As the Spectre, does not deliver. It's Flabbin who gets the frag. It should be easy now. The remaining two players are just with Sheriffs and Auntie. He just has 26 HP left, and he's coming around the world. So if Auntie gets
Player
two,
standing.
there could have been a chance, but Deadly with the frag. Auntie needs to run very fast, and Voya should catch him. He should
At least-
easily hear him and catch him, but no, he gets a frag.
At least it's
That's
planted for him.
But won't matter. Won't matter at all because of the spam, because of the smoke. And yeah, he does get a frag, but Deadly with a 4K, just one far away from the showstopper.
But in this one round, even though OG lose it, they found so much about Reckoning. They realized that whenever there's a triple stack towards the A main, A will most likely be uncontested. And Voya has been using his utility towards the other side of the map, not towards Dish. So that allows them to get in from the Dish area so easily. You saw that cool frag that Tesseract was able to get. Plus, if Antidote's feeling comfortable enough to make such massive rotations after the spike has been planted, the Reckoning are in a lot more danger, because imagine what would happen if Antidote had more time or if he had better weaponry.
Launching smoke. Out of charge.
Let's see, though, this should be an easy OG round since the weapons that they have are far superior from what Team Reckoning has. But Deadly, with the orb, has been able to get the showstopper. They won't be as comfortable as they were previously. Anti, not being detected by the Trailblazer, they know that there is just a single player here. And they don't even know that it is a breach. So rotations cannot be called as of now. But I think it is being. Voya has already started this rotation towards the A side. And now the hit just might come in from OG2. The Sand is in their control. Flabbin sneaks out, gets a frag. RVK with the trade. Tries to come out through the smoke, is not able to get anything. The suppress, and there's no showstopper available for Deadly 10. He gets taken down. Two players shooting at him. One from Sands, one from Nate. Hush, tossing birds. Left and right gets nothing. It's only the utility that gets exchanged. And as the dust settles, OG find themselves with a player advantage.
30 seconds left.
They know where Twist is. Oh, are you serious? They use the rolling thunder to just kill this one guy? Rofil's gonna go ahead to plant, and Antidote will then reposition. I guess OG are not gonna take any chances. Even if it's a 2v1, they will use everything in their power to make sure that Triss doesn't shoot them down.
One enemy remaining.
Oh, but the
wait a minute.
Spectre, the movement is supreme on this man, and he knows where Rofil would be! But the weapon change at the last possible moment brings him to his knees.
Ooh, a close one. A close one, but Deadly was not able to throw the showstopper because of the knife. That was a little bit unfortunate, which could have really changed the round. But hey, you're still able to do a great economy damage onto the player of Team Orangutan. It's only Raw Fuel who comes out on top. All of the remaining players have invested everything that they have into this round, and as Reckoning, you would love to win this one out. Your economy is not that great too, but hey, winning this round will reset OGs.
Ooh, a slower approach from OG this time. They've been known to change the pace every now and then, but making a contact play like this, that too towards Dish, I don't think Reckoning are aware about this one. I mean, at least RBK picking up the orb gives away a semblance of a clue, but Harsh is able to pick one off, even though his side of line being cut off. He uses the flash to push right through it, only to get shot down by RBK. But this allows OG to get into the site uncontested. Reckoning still holding on to A main. Oh no, Aziz hasn't checked behind him. He's in for a world of danger. He still wins all those frags. Are you serious? Okay then. Okay then, man.
Still though, Twist, he has an opportunity. It's a 1v2 with Anti being low. Still very doable. Although how we can look at that. I think he has a lineup for Molly from that spot and also has the ultimate ready. And Antidote's job is to just delay as much as possible. Because RVK is the insurance policy. Anti should be the first one to swing. Has the aftershock too, to buy some more seconds, a little bit more time on the clock. Trist not looking in the right direction. RVK is playing it super safe, and now the footsteps have been given. Anti connects a few bullets here. The aftershock to stop him from doing any heroics at all. And that should be the round. The ultimate's not even required, it's just the molly that is. A great round again from OG. A huge numbers disadvantage. They still turn the round in their favor.
Exactly. I mean, they tried to creep in via Dish, which was fine enough. But I thought with Reckoning being able to hold on to A main, OG won't have a lot of post-plant positions to get into. Of course, not all of them can continue holding the site, so I thought it would force OG to go towards either sand or fight more closer towards defender spawn entrance, which would make things slightly easier for Reckoning, right? Right? And then Aziz goes in like a bloody wrecking ball and completely obliterates anyone who's standing towards A main, which makes things so much easier for OG. It's not even funny how they're able to get so much control by just kicking heads. And it's not like Aziz had too much being thrown at him to set him up, right? It's not like he had a lot of supportive utility along with him. Just one flash, that's all.
This is what happens when you're feeling yourself. Everything just starts falling into place. You expect a few things, you expect a few outcomes, but then everything just chimes in, and even the thing that you thought could have gone wrong just fall in your favor. That is exactly what happened in the previous round for Team OG. They did a few things right, and Aziz just caught two players not looking at him, shot them in the back, got those frags. And on the other hand, there was another third frag to follow things up. So man, OG, right now the only threat they have are themselves and Aziz. Look at that. Trist, he was just bombarded by utility by 3 different players, and is the fourth one to get the frag.
Exactly.
Great utility usage from Team OG. They get themselves into this side, although holding it down is another matter.
I mean, there's one thing about using utility, and then there's another thing about getting frags through it. Teslac doesn't even need a line of sight. His sixth sense is so sharp today, he can sniff his opponents out. He can smell the fear that's running in the veins of Revenant Esports right now. That's how accurate he is. But you have to admit that Revenant Esports, they saw this play coming, but they were a bit too late. You had Flabin clearing out Dish, he didn't spot anyone. You had Deadly 10 watching A main, no spotting anyone. So then Reckoning start to fear, hey, OG might be coming B main. You have the guiding light which Hurst throws, it guarantees their suspicions, and you even have Trist throwing in a snake bite which on paper should hold OG back. But what do OG do instead? They throw in the entire dump of utility that they have on him, and they obliterate him. And speaking of obliteration, Aziz blows up Voya to smithereens.
Oh, he expects that angle. He expects Rotwell to be there and gets another. 21 HP is what he has left, and he is delivering. The molly in his feet, the paint shells to finally take him down, but it's harsh also to get another frag to his name.
Last player
It's all down
standing.
to Aziz with 10 HP left. The paint shell will do the trick. Is Reckoning. They stay afloat for now.
Yeah, this time finally Reckoning. They put all their eggs in the right basket. They were positioned well enough to stop OG from getting inside. Unlike last time where there was only Trist on the site and Harsh playing to its canteen, it wasn't enough to stop OG from just charging into the site. But now that there's Trist playing on the back of these smokes, using it to his own advantage, using RVK's smoke to push through it and still getting the kill, that is just super cool. So this proactivity allows Reckoning to stay afloat for just one more round, but they will need a lot more than this to win this game.
There.
Ooh, let's see though. Slow again. Another round by Team OG. They're waiting for any proactive plays from the side of Team Reckoning, and there is one towards A main, but it's on the back of contact. Flabin just gets flabbergasted with the shot that Aziz just hit. Harsh never got a chance to activate himself. That should be the door to A side.
I know
The flash will confirm the presence of OG's player, but the new theft will give away the positions. Trist throws a molly, makes Tesseract vulnerable and is able to get the frag. Deadly recovers the vision first as Aziz just double satchelled in. Raw Fuel was still with the Bulldog. He is able to slay both the players inside. And now it's a 3v2 situation. The molly from Trist once again trying to make RVK vulnerable, get the frag, which is not the case. 23 HP body has left. Trist, spam, and the ultimate will take him down. And it's all down to Hoya to show some heroics or forfeit the map.
That is it. OG make quick work of their opponents. A relatively fast hit into the A site after all the utility that all the utility that Reckoning threw at them was dispatched away. As soon as Flabin died, that was the beginning of the domino effect. OG take up that map control very easily, and they hold everybody back. Third degree burns used by RVK in the end to spray down the escaping stragglers, and just like that, OG have defeated Reckoning Esports for the third time in Omen BCSA.
Far easily to this side. No pressure from the side of Team Reckoning. They were easily able to obliterate the side of Team Reckoning. Great mid rounding from Team OG. And then the final OG shows they are here to make a statement. They're here to win Split 2 as well.
The champions of Split 1 showing us how it's done. You have to appreciate the risk that the risk that Reckoning took today by running the Harbor Viper on Haven. We've seen it a lot from Loud, but it takes a different level of comfort to adapt it into something that you are able to make a difference with. And that is something that just wasn't there for Reckoning today. You could feel the discomfort in Fracture as well, because OG, despite not having all that much map control in certain rounds, were able to barrage their way into the site and bully Reckoning into a win.
Well, that was a great game from the side of Team OG, and this led to Team Reckoning, you know, knowing the gaps in their composition. So it'll be interesting to see how do they fix these gaps in the future games.
Yeah, it will definitely be interesting. We'll break down this game with further detail after this break, and we also have the interview, so don't go anywhere.
Came for my wins, I need my hands. This life is real, can't play pretend. Came off the bench, I get it in. On track, now we gon' way up. W's as easy as a layup. Working late, stay up. Counting all the way up. Counting blessings, yeah, you know we pray up. Pray up. On track, now we gon' way up. Now we gon' way up. Now we going. On track, now we gon' way up. Now we gon' way up. Now we going. Keep the same energy. Work on being better when I'm 70. Your drip is just a water spring. You know I drip different, just the 7 seas. I deal with life different, make that lemon squeeze. Went off for my style and identity. Better bounce back and get the cheddar cheese. I guess that's why they envy me. On track, now we gon' way up. W's as easy as a layup. got his band like I'm Barry Bonds. Running through the money, but the money's long. I don't love it, but I need it, keep it coming on. Only friendly, me and friends, we don't get along. I put that on my name, that I put them on. I put myself on stage and say sing along. I might book a session, do 100 songs. I'ma let you hear them just to prove you wrong. On track, now we going way up. W's as easy as a layup. Working late, stay up. Counting all the way up. Counting blessings, yeah, you know we pray up. Way up, pray up. On track, now we going way up. Now we going way up. Now we going. On track, now we going way up. Now we going way up. Now we going. On track, now we going way up. W's as easy as a layup. Working late, stay up. Counting all the way up. Counting blessings, yeah, you know we pray up. Way up, pray up. On track, now we going way up. Now we going way up. Now we going. On track, now we going way up. Now we going way up. Now we going. Keep the same energy. Work on being better when I'm 70. Your drip is just a water spring. You know I drip different, just the 7 C's. I deal with life different, make that lemon squeeze. Went off for my style and identity. Better bounce back and get the cheddar cheese. I guess that's why they envy me. On track, now we going way up. W's as easy as a layup. Working late, stay up. Counting all the way up. Counting blessings, yeah, you know we pray up. Way up, pray up. On track, now we going way up. Now we going way up. Now we going. On track, now we going way up. Now we going way up. Now we going. I got his band like I'm Barry Bonds. Running through the money, but the money's long. I don't love it, but I need it, keep it coming on. Only friendly, me and friends, we don't get along. I put that on my name, that I put them on. I put myself on stage and say sing along. I might book a session, do 100 songs. I'ma let you hear them just to prove you wrong. On track, now we going way up. W's as easy as a layup. Working late, stay up. Counting all the way up. Counting blessings, yeah, you know we pray up. Way up, pray up. On track, now we going way up. Now we going way up. Now we going. On track, now we going way up. Now we going way up. Now we going. On track, now we going way up. W's as easy as a layup. Working late, stay up. Counting all the way up. Counting blessings, yeah, you know we pray up. Way up, pray up. On track, now we going way up. Now we going way up. Now we going. On track, now we going way up. Now we going way up. Now we going. Keep the same energy. Work on being better when I'm 70. Your drip is just a water spring. You know I drip different, just the 7 C's. I deal with life different, make that lemon squeeze. Went off for my style and identity. Better bounce back and get the cheddar cheese. I guess that's why they envy me. On track, now we going way up. W's as easy as a layup. Working late, stay up. Counting all the way up. Counting blessings, yeah, you know we pray up. Way up, pray up. On track, now we going way up. Now we going way up. Now we going. On track, now we going way up. Now we going way up. Now we going. I got his band like I'm Barry Bonds. Running through the money, but the money's long. I don't love it, but I need it, keep it coming on. Only friendly, me and friends, we don't get along. I put that on my name, that I put them on. I put myself on stage and say sing along. I might book a session, do 100 songs. I'ma let you hear them just to prove you wrong. On track, now we going way up. W's as easy as a layup. Working late, stay up. On track, now we going way up. W's as easy as a layup. Working late, stay up. Counting all the way up. Counting blessings, yeah, you know we pray up. Way up, pray up. On track, now we going way up. Now we going way up. Now we going. On track, now we going way up. Now we going way up. Now we going. Keep the same energy. Work on being better when I'm 70. Your drip is just a water spring. You know I drip different, this the 7 seas. I deal with life different, make that lemon squeeze. Went off for my style and identity. Better bounce back and get the cheddar cheese. I guess that's why they envy me. On track, now we going way up. W's as easy as a layup. Working late, stay up. Counting all the way up. Counting blessings, yeah, you know we pray up. Way up, pray up. On track, now we going way up. Now we going way up. Now we going. On track, now we going way up. Now we going way up. Now we going. I got his band like I'm Barry Bonds. Running through the money, but the money's long. I don't love it, but I need it, keep it coming on. Only friendly, me and friends, we don't get along. I put that on my name, that I put them on. I put myself on stage as they sing along. I might book a session, do 100 songs. I'ma let you hear them just to prove you wrong. On track, now we going way up. W's as easy as a layup. Working late, stay up. Counting all the way up. Counting blessings, yeah, you know we pray up. Way up, pray up. On track, now we going way up. Now we going way up. Now we going. On track, now we going way up. Now we going way up. Now we going. On track, now we going way up. W's as easy as a layup. Working late, stay up. Counting all the way up. Counting blessings, yeah, you know we pray up. Way up, pray up. On track, now we going way up. Now we going way up. Now we going. On track, now we going way up. Now we going way up. Now we going. Keep the same energy. Work on being better when I'm 70. Your drip is just a water spring. You know I drip different, this the 7 seas. I deal with life different, make that lemon squeeze. Went off for my style and identity. Better bounce back and get the cheddar cheese. I guess that's why they envy me. On track, now we going way up. W's as easy as a layup. Working late, stay up. Counting all the way up. Counting blessings, yeah, you know we pray up. Way up, pray up. On track, now we going way up. Now we going way up. Now we going. On track, now we going way up. Now we going way up. Now we going. I got his band like I'm Barry Bonds. Running through the money, but the money's long. I don't love it, but I need it, keep it coming on. Only friendly, me and friends, we don't get along. I put that on my name, that I put them on. I put myself on stage as they sing along. I might book a session, do 100 songs. I'ma let you hear them just to prove you wrong. On track, now we going way up. W's as easy as a layup. Working late, stay up. Counting all the way up. Counting blessings, yeah, you know we pray up. Way up, pray up. On track, now we going way up. Now we going way up. Now we going. On track, now we going way up. Now we going way up. Now we going. On track, now we going way up. W's as easy as a layup. Working late, stay up. Counting all the way up. Counting blessings, yeah, you know we pray up. Way up, pray up. On track, now we going way up. Now we going way up. Now we going. On track, now we going way up. Now we going way up. Now we going. Keep the same energy. Work on being better when I'm 70. the water spring. You know I drip different, this the 7 seas. I deal with life different, make that lemon squeeze. Went off for my style and identity. Better bounce back and get the cheddar cheese. I guess that's why they envy me. On track, now we